Welcome back to CEO Money. This is the last turn for this show. Kate Delaney in for, what's his name? He's off skiing. I forgot his name already.
The guy who just sent me a picture of him on the slopes.
Michael, I'm kidding
really
you,
nice
Michael. He's probably listening right now.
No, he's sending up selfies from Aspen is what he's doing.
Oh, and is he skiing on the Black Diamond Trails, Ed? That's what I want to know. Or is it the Bunny Trails?
I think he's on the Bunny Trail. This looks like the Bunny Trail, so,
Christine Cashin is still with us, and I think she's an expert skier. So
I'm
do you
still hanging around.
What?
Oh,
that's
funny.
not fair.
I think he's snowshoeing.
Yeah, somebody goes to Aspen and then they send you those pictures to make you feel bad. And we're here in Dallas, but we love Dallas. We've got with us in our virtual green room, Bridgette Hawks is with us, and she's from 360 Grassroots. .org if you actually go and check it out there. And this is all about this mission to build a first-of-its-kind hybrid development where commercial businesses operate in harmony with nonprofit organizations to offer visitors a unique blend of goods, services at their shops and restaurants and a whole bunch of other things mixed in between. So let's welcome Bridget. Hey, Bridget, how are you?
Oh, I'm cold right now, but warm inside.
I like that. I think we met each other the other night at the, I was at an event. I was speaking at the Network Bar. I think you were there, right?
Oh, it was awesome. Great job.
Thank you.
In fact, that's a great segue of the way we want to operate.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. When you were there, you actually handed me some of the awesome goods you had, like a beet brownie. I took it home, and my husband immediately attacked me. He's never been that friendly to me, but as soon as I held that brownie up, that was it. It was over. He took it, he inhaled it, and he said it was the best ever.
That's awesome.
So let's talk about your idea and how you pulled this together and what does it mean? And we want to talk about what a blue zone is. I mean, I don't know. My friend Christine Cashin is here. She's a Hall of Fame speaker, and I'll ask her. I'll give you $1,000, Christine, if you know what a blue zone is.
I do not know what the blue zone is.
Perfect. I love that. I saved some money today.
I wish I knew.
Yes, Bridget, tell Christine and the rest of the listeners, what is a blue zone?
Well, if you could just use your imagination for a little bit and imagine you have this 90-year-old guy and he's on this old crickety bike, but in front of the bike there's a basket full of fresh fruits and vegetables, and he's riding down little tight neighborhood streets over cobblestones. He's waving to everyone. And, he's, over 100 years old, but he's healthy, happy, and prosperous. So a blue zone, that's just a picture of it, but basically the medical industry, along with National Geographic, came together to say there is something wrong with our medical and Americans. Where is it in those parts of the world where people not only live longer, but they live healthier and happier? So they did research, and they identified 5 areas across the world who had 9 components that were similar in each one of those cultures, and that is a blue zone. And basically our mission is to recreate pocket blue zones.
Well, you mentioned 2 things. This is Ed Baxter, I'm sorry. 2 things that kind of come into play there with the blue zone. The first one is polyphenols. I think that's what really we look at when you look at the beach. You look at the idea of the fruits you talked about, the older man eating them. That's really what we're talking about, polyphenols, where you get better absorption of food. And I think if we go back in history and look at the human body was never necessarily designed to digest wheat or grains. So part of what you see is a greater emphasis on fruits and vegetables in their diet.
That's one of them. There's basically 9 criteria. If you look at it on a secular, there's 7 on a spiritual level, but they're very, very, very similar. And one of them is what you eat. 2 of them is just moving naturally, like the body was not designed to commute. I think we have the average American commutes 30 minutes a day, not to mention how many hours we sit behind a desk or a computer. So we're not moving naturally. Therefore, we're forcing ourselves to go to a gym, something that we don't like. Another key criteria is your socioeconomical environment. Who are you hanging with?
Right. Wait, I like that. Who are you hanging with? So you mean I got to look at my friends and decide whether they can be in the blue zone with me?
I think we're in the red zone. Most of us. I don't know.
Exactly.
Wow, so that's interesting. I do agree with that. There's certainly, I have some criteria. We'd have to start throwing that out there. What are some of the obstacles to getting to a blue zone? I mean, Ed brought up a good one. The food is really tough because you have to grow it. You have to get good soil, and we don't have a lot of good soil.
That's right. And in fact, one of our programs, we try to teach the kids the difference between dirt and soil and where our food comes from, because most don't even know what a shovel is, much less where their food comes from or how important it is about what you're putting into your body. And not just your body with food, but it's putting what you're putting into your body in your mind. So there's another element that's a huge challenge because we live such a such a hectic pace. We're not even aware of our emotions. So there's one element called the PNI, the psychoneuroimmunology, and your thoughts are directly connected to your cell count. So another thing is 400 years ago, acute stress was designed to be very healthy. If a tiger's running after you, man, your body kicks into gear and you know how to run faster. Every element of your body comes together. However, chronic stress is what most of us live in America, and that is, you can imagine it, the day in, day out. Either it's the blue Mondays, I don't want to go in, I hate my job, or it's in relationships that you feel like you can't break, even though they're not healthy ones. See, I think you get the picture.
Yeah, you're trying to do this business incubator. Where are you doing that, and how did you start that?
I have over 36 years experience of working with municipalities and creating comprehensive plans. And we would spend on average 4 to 5 months working with community members and really understanding what do they want in their community, what are their needs. So you spend $250,000 on a comprehensive plan, it sits on a shelf because it doesn't make economic sense to developers. So what we have learned, and believe me, don't tell God your plans. He has a sense of humor. But I said I would never be a 501c3 because they're always struggling. But what we learned is that when land is donated, then we can work with the citizens and hand that plan over to a developer based that it has the criteria and the programs in that the city needs. Because when land is donated, it's more affordable. So the first project was 78 acres in the poorest county in Georgia. And our board said, you've got to do this in your backyard where people know you. And I was part of the economic revitalization plan in downtown Dallas. So what we did is we decided to bloom where we're planted, and we live in a little community called Midlothian between Dallas and Fort Worth. And Midlothian had a negative impact of branding because of the cement plants. So Grove Cement Plant donated 32 acres where we could give this a trial run.
Wow, incredible.
Yes.
Bridget, we've got to have you back on and talk about some of the rest of that land and more on the Blue Zone and what you're trying to do. Thank you so much. Check it out at 360grassroots.org. Thanks to the crew, Ed Baxter, Christine Cashin in the house. Fish, Diamond, awesome on the technicals. Kate Delaney, CEO Money.